Hello, this presentation is designed to take you through the draft Aberdeenshire Development Plan scheme and inform and enable you to respond to the public consultation that is ongoing at the moment. It steps through the major parts of the local development plan scheme and highlights many of the important points that we would like to put across in this consultation. We think this consultation is important to you. The Development Plan scheme sets the framework for the preparation of the next local development plan that Aberdeenshire produces, probably to be published in 2028. We know that local development plans take a long time to prepare, and we are very keen to take you with us on that journey. Early engagement on the process we will be following is important. Aberdeenshire Council produces a development plan scheme at least every year and have been doing so since 2009. The purpose of the development plan scheme is to set out the timetable and the means of engagement that we anticipate for the local development plan. Generally, the development plan scheme concentrates on the forthcoming year and in some ways acts as a work plan for the local development plan team. We are advised by the Scottish Government on the content of the local development plan scheme and what it must contain. This year, the scheme contains a section on the background to the existing local development plan, a timetable and detailed proposals for the next 12 months, and finally a part called the participation statement in which we detail how we will talk to and listen to our stakeholders. We are keen to receive your views on the content of the local development plan scheme. We would encourage you to read it and make your views known. How to do this is presented later in this presentation. The development plan scheme can be quite a complicated document. To help your understanding, we explain that it is divided into three parts, as noted on this slide. First, we give some background to the existing local development plan. Second, we outline how the local development plan should be prepared in the future. Third, we give details on how you can engage with us through the participation statement. We have to be cautious about dictating how we will take the local development plan forward in the future, as we still do not have full guidance on this matter from the Scottish Government. The local development plan in Aberdeenshire is currently the Aberdeen City and Shire Strategic Development Plan 2019 and the Aberdeenshire Local Development Plan 2023. The National Planning Framework 4, to be adopted in mid-February, replaces the Aberdeenshire City and Shire Strategic Development Plan. This framework document provides both a national strategy and national policies that the local development plan must follow. In January 2023, Aberdeenshire Council adopted the most recent local development plan. It will have currency until it is replaced and provides guidance up until the year 2033. We are pleased that we have such an up-to-date local development plan that deals with the emerging issues of climate change, sustainable development and economic growth. However, over the past 5 years, there's been a significant debate at a national level about the need to transform the planning system to make it more efficient, effective and deliver on the big challenges that now face us. This debate has been led by the Scottish Government. A range of new actions have been described in the preparation of local development plans. Some of these are new actions, some are familiar to us. The first element that we have to undertake is the collation of an evidence report, and on which this development plan scheme focuses. However, we have to be mindful of all the stages of preparation of a local development plan when considering the development plan scheme. In the immediate future, we observe that there are 3 stages in preparation of the next local development plan. Initially, we will spend time collecting data and receiving from you and other stakeholders ideas associated with local planning for incorporation into the plan. Following this, there is then a relatively familiar process of drawing up the local development plan itself. This will be subject to full public consultation, and where there are objections to the plan, we will negotiate on possible changes to be made to achieve as wide a consensus on its content as possible. Finally, the plan will be subject to an external examination by Scottish ministers, who will consider what modifications need to be made to it before it can be finally adopted. The questions that we ask on this topic relate to the confirmation that we have interpreted the Planning Scotland Act 2019 appropriately and have been responsible in our appraisal of the draft regulations and guidance produced by the Scottish Government last year. Do you think we have missed any steps or have added any unnecessary steps to the process? This slide shows the proposed timetable for the production of the Local Development Plan. From this, you can see that we do not anticipate producing a proposed local development plan until midsummer 2026. Engagement and modification of this proposed plan will lead to an examination in early 2027 and adoption of the plan in early 2028. This is a programme over a long period of time and may change as we progress through the earlier stages. In responding to the consultation, we would be keen to know whether you agree with our timeline or where it should be changed and why. The preparation of the evidence report is one of the first things that we have to complete. We have given this a lot of thought and have come to the conclusion that the best way of producing an evidence report is through authoring a number of topic papers. This would be resource efficient, effective, time efficient, and would minimise the need for protracted engagement on a single evidence report document late in 2023. We are eager for these topic papers to be written as statements of consensus and without bias. As a result, we intend to use external stakeholders as reference groups to vet and audit both the content of the draft topic papers and assist us with the assessment of any public response to these. Where a response disagrees with the position of the reference group and cannot otherwise be resolved, then this is termed a formal dispute to the evidence report. Disputes will be referred to the gate check examination for independent resolution. The diagram on the right side of this slide illustrates the process that we would like to take. There are specific questions that we ask in relation to the evidence report. Have we identified the appropriate list of topics to be considered, and is the method of finalising the topic groups through the reference groups appropriate? But we would welcome any views provided on the method that we propose. I would now like to turn my attention to how you can get involved in the preparation of the Local Development Plan, the participation statement. We think that the National Standards for Community Engagement set a very good framework for public engagement, and we would like to continue to use these standards for the development of the next plan, as we have done for previous plans. We are clear that the methods we are promoting in the draft development plan scheme fit the national standards. In order to provide an effective and efficient process for consultation, we have decided to adopt the example of the Scottish Government and ask for views on the topic papers through a questionnaire process using the Engage Aberdeenshire platform. This will make the analysis of submissions significantly more straightforward and ensure that the risk of misunderstanding a submission is minimised. We do not think that this will restrict the scope of engagement that we undertake, but feel that it will provide much needed focus to the process. Within the consultation, we question whether this is a valid approach or whether an open consultation should be used to allow parties to comment on all elements. We also ask whether the use of reference groups to audit the topic papers is an appropriate approach. One of the things the Scottish Government requires us to include in the evidence report is a statement of lived-in experience, people's perceptions of the needs and opportunities in their area. This in itself could be a huge consultation task, but we feel that an appropriate response to this obligation would be to reflect on what we have already been told through previous consultations, or to use the Place Standard tool as a proven method to collect information on what is concerning local communities. We are keen to find out from you whether you think there are other ways in which we could collect and audit this form of evidence. A new tool that the Scottish Government has provided us with is the ability for communities to prepare their own local place plans. These will be statements developed by the community that will set out local consensus of what needs to be protected, what opportunities there may be for development, and what key elements of the place make up its character. These statements can provide an important element for the local development plan, providing a clear indication of what matters for a local community. While local place plans can be prepared at any time, we suggest that the best time for them to be submitted would be in late 2024 as part of the Call for Ideas stage. This would then allow us to incorporate the aspirations of the community directly into the proposed local development plan and would allow holistic assessment of potential cumulative impacts to be assessed through the environmental impact assessment, flood risk assessment and transport appraisal. Do you think this is an appropriate advice to give in the development plan scheme? Young people are the future of Aberdeenshire, and it's very important that we engage with young people on the future environment that they will inherit. Younger citizens often have well-informed views on environmental and sustainability topics, which older citizens do not have. Often, they are better informed than their elders and have a different perspective on some of the key issues. Engaging with young people is difficult and not something the development plan team have been very successful in doing in the past. To resolve this lack of access into the opinions of young people, we propose to engage directly with school youth forums to help us capture the views of this very important audience. We are advised that the school youth forums are able to communicate with their peer group and are often able to phrase questions that are meaningful to their classroom colleagues and friends. As part of the consultation, we are seeking your ideas as to what might be a cost-effective and efficient manner of engaging with young people. This final slide provides details on how you can participate in the consultation on the development plan scheme to give us your views as to whether our plans to talk with you are competent and sufficient. The link provided will take you to the Engage Aberdeenshire Local Development Plan Hub, where a copy of the draft development plan scheme can be seen and where you can enter the questionnaire survey to let us know your views. The survey will be open until the 11th of March 2023. The development plan scheme will be reviewed in light of comments made and will be presented in its revised form to the Infrastructure Services Committee in May 2023. The results of the survey will be published on the Engage Aberdeenshire website so that at the end of the process you will be able to see how your views coincide with those of others. In achieving the best possible plan, the early engagement is a key. We would encourage you to participate in this exercise. Thank you very much.